What's up, Inkie peeps? It's Adele from Inkie Quill, and today we're trying something new. I know I seem to say that a lot, but we're going to do an art journal process video, but we're finding some inspiration from something that I haven't really looked at before. Today I thought it'd be fun to start a series using inspiration from picture books. I freaking love picture books. I, of course, was a school teacher, and so I have quite a stash of picture books. And I bought this one for Archie one day when he's not in ripping paper mode. For when he's a little bit older, I bought this from a really cool hipster children's shop in Long Jetty on the Central Coast, and it was just too beautiful to leave. It was expensive. I think it was about, could have been $30. It was quite expensive, but it was just too pretty to leave there. The illustrations in this book are just so beautiful. Goodness, the bunnies are causing a bit of a ruckus in the background, sorry. The illustrations are just so beautiful, and it's a little story. I'll do a quick flip through. It's a little story of this polar bear, and he ends up being a bit lost. And so he floats away from his home, and he floats upon the shore, and none of the woodland creatures have ever seen, look at how beautiful that is, none of them have ever seen a creature quite like it before. And so he collected all of these leaves, and he's hoping that he can fly away. And I just love, like, some of the design things that I love are the white pen. I absolutely love that. And then these little marks in the background, like little blue rectangles and things like that. I also love the dark pages with the splashes of orange and yellow. So he tries as hard as he can to fly into the night sky using his wings, and he's met with not very much success. I love this page. So I'm thinking of interpreting this as stenciling with white outlines, because a lot of these look like it's a coloured shape with the white pen around the outside. I'm definitely going to go for a blue and orange kind of feel with greys and blacks and whites. So in the end, he tries as hard as he can and still manages to find himself in the ocean. And then the crows actually listen to him. They let him speak, and at last they finally listen to him. And they listened to his story, and everyone loved him. And then they help him fly back to the rest of his family in the Antarctic, somewhere cold, somewhere polar bear-y. It's just a beautiful story, and even the paper's really lovely as well. So basically, I'm using this book just as rough inspiration, and if you want to play along with home, I would love to see what you come up with. You can use this book if you'd like to, or you can use a book that you love, a book that you've got at home, and you can pick anything from it. That's the great thing about finding inspiration from something. You could pick the colours, so I'm definitely going to go with the blues and touches of orange and yellow. You could also pick some of the icons or the symbols that are in here. So I'm hoping to do lots of leaves, because they seem to, well, the book is called Leaf. You could also choose a page that you really liked the design of. For example, this page, if you wanted to do something like this, you could do a big focal image here and then have all of these fronds coming off, so you could get the design composition of a certain page, or just the feel that you get from the book. So I'm hoping to do some sort of quote about listening to people, or taking time to stop and hear someone's opinion, because that's kind of the message of the book. So you can choose one piece of inspiration, or kind of do a whole lot on one page. So the first thing that I've done is I've gone through my a couple of magazines. I've gone through a couple of Frankie magazines and Daphne's Diary. Obviously, I'm not going to use all of this stuff. I'll just put it back into my collage container. But I picked some things that kind of reminded me of it. So this is like a giant piece of wrapping paper from the magazine. I thought this was cute with the little buildings. This, I thought the colours and the leaves was quite appropriate. I loved this. It says enjoy the little things, but it's a little big, so I probably won't use it. I love this. I love the drawn look of the bird. I think it just matches beautifully. I also like this lady, just wearing a cat mask, holding a cat. I thought that was pretty cute. This bedspread from Spotlight looks like it could match perfectly, so I grabbed that. Also grabbed this one. There's some blue text that I thought would be fun to layer, and then these kind of colours were nice and bright and poppy. And then this was actually from the October printables for Patreon, and it was to go with the Halloween stuff, and I thought I might be able to cut some shapes out of that as well. So that's what I'm starting off with. I haven't done this before, so bear with me. Get it? Bear, because he's a bear. Oh, the jokes are fun today. All right, so I'm just going to try and find. Now, I could challenge myself, double challenge to do a craft page, but I'm not. I'm not in that one challenge at a time, one little challenge at a time. I really need a bigger clip. I did have a bigger clip, and it went walking. I think I used it on something else, but I'm going to go for this page, I think. And actually, do you know what I'm going to do? I might go a little bit further along. Yeah, I'll go here because it's kind of more in the center of the journal. Okay, so the first thing I think I'm going to do is a bit of collage. I don't have an idea in mind, really. I know I want to use that bird, so I might grab it first. Where are you, little birdie? There he is. And see where I think it would work. So he's looking in to the left, so I'd probably be more likely to put him, I'm just calling it a him, on the left side. And I'm thinking because he's flying, it'd be better to have up the top. So if I aim to have the bird there, and then some sort of quote maybe down here, and then just fill the rest with pattern and all sorts of fun things, I think I should be on the right track. So let's see. The first thing, I might stick this down, and I might actually go across the page here. I'm going to fold it in half first, and then grab my matte gel medium. Oh, a bit crusty. And watch out for all the little bits that get stuck in the lid. Then I'm going to start with the big side first, I think, and I'm just going to slap on some matte gel medium. I've purposely left a little bit of a gap to the side. I might do a bit of painting on the side there, and luckily last week I actually, oh, you're not going to believe it, I actually splurged and bought some orange paint. So now I have some of the orange Dilutions paint to add to my stash as well, and I think it's going to come in handy for today. So I'm going to start, I think the easiest way is to start in the center, squish that in, and then fold it out like that. Doesn't matter if it's a bit wonky, I can cut that off, and then do the exact same to this side. And it doesn't matter if you put the matte gel medium outside where you're sticking, because I'm sure there'll be other bits that I'm sticking on there. If you want, this paper's quite thick so it goes down quite nicely, but if you wanted to smooth out bubbles, you could also use a like an old gift card to smooth out any bumps and lumps. Alright, so that's that one. I do really like this as well, so I think I might, God, it's big. I think I might just tear off. Oh, okay. You've torn in an interesting way, haven't you? Alright, I think I'm just going to put a bit down here. And this is my favourite part, the just slapping a whole lot of bits and pieces down, and I know that a lot of it will be covered up by the final design, but that's part of the course with art journaling, that you're going to inevitably cover something up at some point, and that's okay. I might even do just a really tiny strip up here, like so. And I always put the matte gel medium over the top as well, just to really secure it down. What else have we got here? Some text. Some text is always nice. Hopefully it's nothing naughty. Oh, it's about love and... I might cut that in half. There we go. Alright, I'm going to put a little bit here. And a little bit down here. Like so. I'll fix that up later on. Alright, and now, oh, I definitely want to use some of this one. Because, I mean, come on, those colours are just ridiculously perfect for that cover. There's no way I can't use this strip. So if you haven't got magazines, you could always look through junk mail, you could look through scrapbook papers, you could just paint. I just was in a bit of a collage-y mood, and look, I'm covering up basically all of that text. Let's move you over a bit. There we go. I was just in a bit of a collage-y type mood. You know when you get in the mood to just glue stuff? I get in those moods a lot. There's a little bit more, so I might do this little bit. I might pop that here, and I might not cover all of the spaces. I might go back and actually paint some of the spots in. We'll see how we go. A little bit here. So, I really love Frankie magazine, and I know it's an Australian publication, which might be tricky for overseas peeps to get, but if you can get your hands on it, it is quite nice. Okay, this one I just really liked the little people. I thought it was, they looked, oh, I just cut those people off. Oh, well. I just thought it was a really cute little piece. And see, it's not the exact same style as the magazine, sorry, the picture book is. And that's okay. It's just about finding inspiration for it, not copying it exactly. So I'm going to, okay, ripped off a bit of his tail, but that's okay. I'm going to trim that a little bit and stick my birdie down. So like I always say, if you're using matte gel medium as a adhesive, try and use a different paintbrush than like your good paintbrushes that you paint with, because it does make it quite cluggy. Even if you dry it straight away, it still does, changes the bristles. I don't think I put enough glue under there. There we go. Alrighty, so this kind of reminds me, I started a series on Inkie Quill when I first started. He's a bit wrinkly, but that's okay. Called Inspiration at Home, and I would find things around the house to inspire me, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of that. Alright, then I'm just going to do a strip of whatever this is. And then there's a couple of little spots. I feel like I do really like that. Try not to cover up the people that I said I liked so much. Just do a little bit here. Even though that wasn't a spot that I had to cover, Adele. I'll do a little bit there. And it doesn't have to be perfect. This is the fun part where you can really just play and experiment and just have fun with it. That's why I like ripping things a lot of the time, because I don't feel like everything has perfect edges that way. Alrighty, I think I'm going to pause the video and dry this, and then we'll add a little bit of paint, I think, next, because I do feel like it needs a little bit of paint to blend out this background, and then we'll do some stenciling on top. Alrighty, we're back, we're dried. I cut off a bit off the side and stuck it here because it was excess and I liked it, so I wanted to keep using it. And now I've been looking, I've got the book just propped up in front of me, and I really like the dark blue in the background. So I think what I'm going to do is paint over this pale part here with After Midnight, which is one of my favorite shades of the Dylusions paints, and I'm just going to get in and do it. And I'm not going to do it super neat. I'm just kind of going to plonk down the paint, because this is the area that I actually plan on doing some stenciling on. And yeah, so a lot of it won't actually matter. A little bit up there, a little bit around the edges. There's an empty spot here. I'm just going to try and make it look a little bit darker. This part here, and then just around this bird a little bit. Like so. Okay, so that's that. I might do a little bit of a darker bit just in this center. I do another coat. It doesn't look like a flower anymore, so I'm covering it up. I am just going to do a little bit darker at the top by doing that second coat. Alrighty, and there we go. I always get this on my hands no matter what. So I'm going to dry that, and in the meantime I have picked out a few stencils that I thought I could use. So I've got this kind of abstract vase, I guess you could say. I wouldn't use the whole thing, but I thought areas such as that might be really handy with the little shapes and leafy bits, so I might use that one. I think I'll definitely use, and brands wise I don't know what they are, I'm sorry. I'm definitely going to use this one because I thought that would be really good with the white outlining. So there's 3 of those little bits. I've also got this one, which is tried and true favorite. It's definitely seen better days, but it still works. And then these are a couple of newer ones. These are actually feathers, but I feel like they look like leaves. This one might be a really good background to do, just really subtle in the background, and then do others stuff over the top. And then there's this one as well. So I'm going to dry this and then have a bit of a play with some stenciling next. Alrighty, for starters, I think I'm going to do some of this maybe in white in the background. We'll soon see if this was a good idea or not. I think I'm going to go down. Sponge I'm using is, are we connected to the, is the camera going to shake? Possibly. Alright, hang on, I need to move things. Goodbye book. So that the camera doesn't shake while I'm doing this. Meh, I'm not feeling it. What about if we try now? I don't actually know if this will show up because, you know, it's blue. But let's give it a go, shall we? Got my bag of cheap makeup sponges. And I'm just going to, whoops, give it a little try. Because this is very similar to the blue that is on the front cover. Oh yeah, it looks like it's showing through. Ooh, that's better. That's better. So I'm just going to do this sporadically all over this blue background piece. And I think that if you're someone who struggles with art journaling pages and knowing what to do next, by doing something like this, you're kind of taking away the blankness of the blank paint. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's making there's something on there. You might cover up this entire thing, but that's okay. At least there's something there that makes it not feel as empty and unknown. So I'm trying to make sure that I overlap the stenciling onto the different types of papers. And a little bit down here. Oh, I love that. Those two blues are not, they're typically not paint colors that I would put together like this for stenciling, but I think by looking at this book, it's kind of given me a new perspective on these two colors together, which is really cool. Okay, I feel like we're going good. Maybe just a little bit down here. And so basically I'm just kind of hunting for spots that look a little bit empty or like they're kind of plonked on there. Like this text I felt was a bit plonked on, so by doing this it kind of links the pieces together. Okay, I think that's enough for that one. Now what? Oh, okay. What about, because the actual book has so many layers, and it's a little ridiculous to think I could do that many layers. I could, but it would take me forever. So I think what I'm going to do now, where's this one? I might do some of these, and I think I'm going to make my own colour, kind of a light tealish colour. Oh, hang on, might have added too much. Oh no, might be able to make that work. Okay. So I'm just going to start from the top and work my way from there. So this is obviously a mask rather than a stencil, so it's going to create the blue, where I'm stenciling is going to be the background, and whatever colour underneath is going to be the leaf shape. So I'm going to try and blend it in a little bit. Probably do another one here. And like I said, I knew I was going to cover up some of this background when I started this. Uh-oh, moved the stencil. It's alright. Managed to make it work. And then just really try and blend it in a little bit. It won't matter because I know I'm putting things over the top. I can do another one down here. And if you don't have stencils in the shapes that you want and you have a silhouette cutting machine, you could always just cut some cardstock and then turn it into a stencil so you can use it. And do one down here. I have a feeling this one's going to be quite subtle. Very subtle. Might do a sneaky side flower here, a side leaf, sorry. There we go. I love that. Right, let's see if we've got enough for one last one. There we go. Alrighty, and it really gives that shadowy look that the book has. So there's that one. Then I feel like I want to do some of these like an orange, but I kind of want to leave the orange for a moment and concentrate more on some more blue ones. So I think I might try and do some in this full teal colour. I'm just using my Heidi Swap Matte as a palette. Let's see. Not sure how well this will work, but we will soon find out. You can always cover it up, especially when you're doing so many different layers of paint. Always cover it up. Yeah, you can't really see that. But that's all good. Let's do one here because you definitely will be able to see it there. Because we're stenciling onto patterned collage bits, it is a little bit tricky to see the finer details. There we go. And we might do another one of these leafy kind of bits over here. Apparently a flower as well. Alright, I'm loving the way that's looking. We need something at the top to blend that in. I'm going to try and do another one of those leaves, and we'll see how well this stands out. I don't know how well it will go. No, not really at all. Maybe let's just try white. Ooh. If I was a white sponge, let's get another one. It's not like I don't use enough white to warrant another one. Okay, so for here, I'm going to try some of these bits. And this should show up well. I'm kind of overlapping it with that other stenciling that we did. Ooh, that looks cool. Oh, that looks really cool. Alrighty, I think we need some leading into the bird. There we go, and of course it's looking very busy, and it will. I knew it was going to be a busy page. I like the look of busy. If you're not a busy fan, go with a simpler picture book and all will be good. Oops. Alright, I feel like we need a big kind of white flourish down here. Whoops. I'm almost out of white paint, but luckily white and black are something that I always have a spare paint, unopened, but a spare paint in my stash, because I know it's something that I'm going to inevitably use. Oh, I'm loving this. I'm loving it. Alright. So the trick with stenciling, I get asked a lot, is to not have too much paint on your sponge. Might seem like you don't have enough, but you do. It likes to try and trick you. Alrighty. I think that's looking good. I think I'm actually going to put the quote here because there's a big empty space there. That's my plan. Now, I feel like we should do some colour. So let's pack these ones away for just a moment. Now I want to have this a quite like 2D page. I don't want to use texture paste, but it would be really fun to do some texture paste leaves as well. But not today. Now I have bought orange paint. So this is Tangerine Dream. I bought these last week, not thinking I was doing this page, but the other day I was doing a page and I really wanted orange and I tried to make an orange and it was just, oh, it didn't work. And this one's called Pure Sunshine. And then I also bought a fresh yellow, which is Lemon Zest, because my one had seen, oh, my one had seen better days. We need some new sponges. All right. Let's start off with, I think I'm actually going to start with the darker colour. And we're just going to see how it goes. Now, because we're going on, I have never done orange on blue before. I'm imagining it's not going to come as, oh no, it is. Oh, it's pretty good. I didn't know if the colour was going to be as saturated or because we're working on a darker background. Oh no, that works out quite nicely. All right. A little bit more over here. I'm just doing little peaks of orange. There we go. Because that's kind of what I loved in the book, is that it was predominantly blue, but it had just these little pops that peeked through. And a little bit down here. I'm just kind of balancing it around so it's not an exact mirror image from the top and the bottom, but it's similar. And on the side. So this is when I find it's a good idea when you're working with so many different colours to kind of limit your colour families a little bit. So I'm just working with the blues and then like the oranges, yellows. Alright, I'm happy with that. Now, I could use the same stencil and do the lighter colour. Let's just give that a go. We'll see how this layers. Oh yeah, that looks cute. It looks like it's some's in the shadow and some is in the light. Quite like that actually. Oh, I had too much paint on it then. Way too much paint on my sponge. I feel like this one needs to be a good one because it's kind of in the focal area. Alright, tiny bit there. Of course, this one isn't showing up as orange as the darker colour, but I still think it's showing up quite nicely. Just be careful with how much paint you have on your sponge or brush or applicator, because you don't need too much. Alrighty, I'm liking that. So now do we venture into yellow? Oh, that could ruin it. I'm going to be honest with you, that could ruin it. I feel like these leaves for the orange, I think they're too big. I think it's too much. I kind of just like it as is, and I think I might do some doodly ones. So I'm going to pop my paint away, and then off camera I think I'll doodle around some of the leaves, just because I can't talk and doodle or do journaling at the same time. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll come back and we'll see how it's all looking, because some of them I might doodle with black, most of them I'm thinking of using white. We'll see what happens. As you can see, there's been no change, but I've come up with a conundrum. This pink flower is really annoying me. It's too pink, and it's trying to steal the limelight from my poor little birdie friend over here. So I've decided I'm just going to go a bit crazy with the watercolour and try and tone it down a little bit. I've just put some clear gesso over this area, and we're just going to very lightly just pick up a little bit of this light blue. It's actually, my paintbrush is still very dirty. So we're just going to calm it down a little bit, make it a little less in your face and a little more friendly. There we go. And then even Mr. Birdie friend, I'm just going to put a little bit of blue in the background for him as well. There we go. I feel a lot better about that now. So now I'm going to go and do the outlining and dry it and do all of those things, and I'll show you what it looks like after I've been all liney drawing, which probably in all honesty will take me about 20 minutes or so. I am loving how it's looking so far. The white just really makes it pop. It just, oh, I love it, especially the top section. I just love how that those shadowy leaves look behind it, and oh, it makes me happy. So I found a quote on Pinterest that says, "The earth has music for those who listen," and I want to try and emboss it, but I have this Ranger embossing powder called Marigold, and it's kind of like a golden yellowy kind of color, but I tried it on some darker blue. This is my test, and you can see you can't really see it properly. So then I did white out, and then I did embossing over the top, and I love the way it looks, but I think it might stuff up my embossing pens. So I think I'm going to try and do it in Sharpie first. I don't know, this could be the disaster. This could break it. Or should I do acrylic paint? So many options. I might, I'll try the paint pen first. We'll see how this goes. This might not go, but we'll see. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to try and make my letters a little bit thick so that they stand out. I don't know if I'm doing brush lettering yet. I don't really have a plan. I'm just winging it. Oh, that H is too high. This is why you should have a plan. You should always have a plan. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to emboss on top. We'll see how we go. I'm going to do some block letters for this one. So this is a new paint pen that I have that it's pretty nice when it comes to white paint pens. I don't usually have luck with white paint pens. I either break them or they're just not opaque enough for me, which is why I do a lot of my white writing with whiteout, which is correction fluid. And yeah, I do tend to avoid white paint pens just because I haven't had a good run with them. So I hope I spell this right. I'm doing some crazy font here. Don't know if it's capitals or lowercase. When you can't decide, just do both. I wish I had white embossing powder, but my white embossing powder is definitely dead. It should be thrown away, but I think I'm just leaving it there as a reminder to get new a new one. Alright, so actually I might pause you, finish off the rest of the writing, and then we'll see if I'm going to emboss it or not. Oh, I love it. I love it. So I went against the embossing idea and I ended up just writing it in the white Sharpie pen, and then I just outlined it with my black food ball pen, and I freaking love it. I do want to add some white splatters, and I think I want to add like a tiny word sticker or something down here. I do my white splatters, of course, with an old chalk texter. This is a very, very messy way to do them, but I like the look of it and it's worth it. Splatter. I think white splatters really do make a difference to, especially a dark page. And of course, because I only have a few minutes left of recording, someone's decided to do chainsawing or some sort of work out the back. So I'm sorry if you can hear that. I think I want white. Let's see. What about, oh, we could say those who don't believe in magic will never find it. Or, oh, what about let life surprise you? And see possibility everywhere. Let's try those two. So I'm just using some Scotch tacky glue if it wants to come out. Oh, too much. We all knew that was going to happen. Let's see if I can wipe some off onto there. Oh, Mr. Power Tools. Really? It's not even a weekend, it's midweek. Alright, I'm going to put those there. And then I've been really liking using my Stabilo All pencil lately, which is just like a black pencil that's watercolory, and it writes over everything. Like, I think that's why it's called All, because it writes over all, not all surfaces, but pretty good. So I'm just going to add a little bit of watercolor around there, like so. like that. Alrighty, and I think this page is done. So hang on, let me get the book. So there's my page and there's the book. Let's kind of move some of my junk and put them as beside each other as we can. Oh, I love it. I really love it. I like that the orange is more subtle in my one. I kind of went for a darker tone. These are a bit more brighter and turquoisey. I kind of went for the darker colors with the little splashes of orange, but you can see that I have heavily been inspired by particularly the front cover, I think, and I love it so much. So here's another look of the front cover. There you go. And then here is a look at the finished page. Hang on, are we focused on it? Hope so. There we go. I think I might even make a strip of this a printable for next month, because I really love like just a strip of that. I think that'll look really pretty. Thank you so much for watching today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've got any picture book inspiration ideas for me, let me know in the comments. If there's like a favorite book that you love, or even like a fairy tale that may not be a particular book version but may just be a story to be inspired by, let me know, and I'd love to try this again in a couple of months' time. But yes, please do let me know if you try this at home, if you use the inspiration of this book or if you use inspiration from another one. I'd love to see what you make, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Bye!